Christina from Christina's Crafts. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to make a fall sign using this sign that I got from Dollar Tree. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my plaster colored chalk paint and I am going to paint the inside of this, what do you call it? This gather sign, I guess, that I got from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to paint the whole background and then I'm going to paint the edges of it also. Okay, now that that's painted, I'm going to set that aside. And then I don't really like the way this gather sign looks, so I'm going to take some of this Java chalk paint that I have and I'm just going to put a quick coat on the front of this just to kind of darken it up a little bit. And then I'm going to leave my Java paint out and I am going to I can't talk today, paint my acorns with that Java color. Okay, set that aside to dry. Now I'm just going to take my paint and put a little coat of it on my acorns here. These acorns I also got from Dollar Tree. So just a little coat of paint, not super dark, but just not this orangey color. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to take this flexible cutting mat that I got from Dollar Tree and I am going to cut it out to fit behind my gather sign here. So I'm just kind of trying to line it up here. See if I can clip this on. Just making sure, because I don't want it showing, so. All right, so then I am just gonna go ahead and cut around it. I might have to do a little bit of trimming, but we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I have it all cut out. Now I'm just gonna take some hot glue and hot glue this down. So, trying to get these strings out of here. All right, and then push that down, and then I'm gonna hot glue some on the other side too to get it to stay on. Now that I have that on, it's time to put it together. So what I'm going to do is I got these lights from Dollar Tree around Christmas time, which it's getting to be about Christmas time again. So I'm thinking they might possibly have these again. And what I want to do is I am going to hot glue this to the back of my sign here. Make sure that you glue it to this side, not the side where you have to unscrew it to get the batteries off. So just a little hot glue on that battery box and then right in the middle of your sign there. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it around. This cord is going to go inside of here. Actually, let me flip this around. So it is going to stick out a little bit here. I just have to make sure that I have this in the right corner in the corner that I want here. Okay, yep, that's the corner that I want. All right, so I am just gonna hot glue this down here. Okay, I just kind of turn my lights on here. See just how I want to do this or how many times it's gonna go around. Okay, so then I'm just gonna stick a little hot glue here and kind of pull that tight. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go this way with it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stick it like that. I'm sorry, I gotta hold it because the hot glue takes a while. And go like this, and then it's probably gonna end up something like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and snake it around the back of my sign here. Okay, my lights are all on there. Then the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these leaves that I have and I am going to arrange these on the inside of my sign here. So I'm gonna stick one up here. And I'm gonna stick one up over here. And then I think I'm gonna stick one over here. Let me see. I gotta see how it's looking. I don't know, that might be enough. Just the 2 leaves in there. Let's see. I don't want to block too much of the lights, but I still want to be able to see the leaves behind there. Let me take it off camera and take a peek. That's not bad. Okay, so I'm just gonna take some hot glue on here. Stick you on there. And then I'm gonna need another glue stick. You are gonna get stuck right down here. All right, and then I'm actually gonna flip this around. I'm having a hard time seeing it with that battery pack on there. So I'm just gonna stick some hot glue on the sides here. Whoops, I went off the side a little. And then I'm gonna stick this back on top. Okay, that is glued on. Then I'm gonna glue this wire down on this back a little bit here. So just hold that down there. You can put the hot glue right on there and on the wires. It'll be perfectly fine. All right, let's see if I can get that off. Okay, then, oh, I'm gonna have to re-hot glue that. Came right off. Okay, I am ready to finish this up. I wish I could kind of tilt this down better, but with the battery pack on there, it's not working so well. So what I decided to do is I'm gonna take a couple more of these leaves, and this one I am actually going to hot glue, and I'm gonna stick up in the corner here. I think, like, I don't want to completely cover up the G here. Maybe up a little bit more. Yeah, probably, maybe I should go like that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Always changing my mind. Alright, so that is gonna go right here. And yes, I'm gonna have to get all those glue strings off of there. And then what I'm gonna do in the other corner here is I'm gonna cut some of these leaves up here. Cut them right off of my leaf. And then, okay, I'm just gonna kind of lay this down. I'm going to take these little pieces of leaves that I have, and I'm going to hot glue them onto here. So I'm just going to go for it, and hopefully it works out good. I'm trying to cover up the cord from the battery box here. And that should, well, just about cover it up. All right, and then I'm gonna take my 2 acorns here that I painted and find the best looking side, I guess you could say. And go on the opposite side, and then I'm gonna hot glue my acorn right to my sign here. Oops. Right like that. All right, I think I'm gonna call it. That's about all I'm gonna do to this. Kind of keep it a little bit minimalistic, I guess. So I am going to quick here, grab my lights and turn them off. At least some of them so you can see. I think it turned out pretty cute. I really like it. I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you think. I think this leaf looks a little goofy up here, but I wasn't quite sure what to do with that. I probably could have just went with that and that would have been fine. But turn that back on. And you can kind of see the leaves in here too, which I think looks pretty cool. Okay, that is the end. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you made it to the end, put a little leaf in a comment and let me know that you made it this far into the video. I really appreciate you watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'd love it if you subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified when I upload, and give me a thumbs up. That would be great too. Thank you so much for watching and have a great night. Thanks. Bye. Christina from Christina's Crafts. I'm going to be making a fall DIY project tonight. I'm going to be using 2 of these crates that I got from Dollar Tree, and these are actually going to get glued together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Waverly Antique Wax and some paper towel. I'm basically going to stain these boxes. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a coat of my antique wax on here. I'm going to take some paper towel and kind of wipe it off a little bit because I just want a little stained look. I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Okay, my boxes are done. I'm just going to let them sit and dry a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 little dowels that I got from Dollar Tree, and I am going to paint those the antique wax color also. Okay, now it is time to start putting this together. So Dollar Tree. This I actually got off of Temu. This really nice canvas. It came in a 2-pack. If you look back at my videos, I did a video on my Temu order, and I have all the links in that video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this wood glue, super glue, and I'm gonna put a little bit on here for a little better hold. And then I'm gonna stick some hot glue on here so I can get an instant hold so I can keep working on my project. So I'm just gonna stick that on there and glue those together. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my dowel rods, and they're gonna go in my box right here. I think I'm gonna have to do one of these at a time. So I am going to stick them in here. Need to get them more towards the back. All right, and then I'm going to stick some more of this wood glue in here. Just a little bit in the middle. And then I'm going to take my hot glue. It's kind of tight quarters here. And then I'm going to stick that in there. Straight as possible, and hold that down, and then I'm going to stick this dowel rod up on the top here. Okay, I have my little dowel rods in there. They should be pretty sturdy. I put quite a bit of glue on there. Now I'm going to set this down, and then my little sign that I got from Temu is going to go on here, and I'm going to have to probably pull these in a little bit. We're gonna see how this is gonna work. So I'm just gonna, I think, just go for it. I'm gonna put the hot glue on here, and then I'm gonna put it down. Let's try to move this. Okay, so let's see. Get this on here. Gonna have to kind of stretch a little bit. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to go back through with the hot glue and kind of get these edges down a little bit. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. Okay, well, I wish I would have had it a little bit tighter on there, but that's okay. I got these velvet pumpkins that I got from Dollar Tree. These are super cute, and look at that, they match my sign. So these have a little clip in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the clip out of there, there's 3 of this bluish teal color and then 3 of this gray color. So let me get the clips out of here. They're a little bit problematic, but I'll get them out of there. Okay, so I played around with it multiple times trying to get a good color scheme here, trying to bump some of them up a little bit. I'm just not sure. I think this is how I'm gonna put them. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of these Jenga blocks that I have here, and then that is gonna go back here. And then I'm gonna stick my pumpkin on there and then put the other 2 around it. It would have been kind of cool if I had another color because it just was not looking right. Alright, I think I want that one bumped back a little bit. Stick some more hot glue in there. Alright, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this side. I kind of tilted just a little bit so you can see the stem. Let's stick that one over here. And then stick that one over there. I don't know. Out of all the different things that I tried, I think that looks best. So what I'm going to do to fill this in more and give it a little bit more depth is I'm going to take some of my Spanish moss and I'm going to stick it in there. So I'm just going to take some, and then you don't want a big stick. Kind of ball it up, put a little hot glue, and then stick it in there. And then I'm just going to have it kind of hanging down off the front a little bit too. So just ball it up, throw some hot glue in there, and stick it in. There's no rhyme or reason or anything to this. I'm just throwing it in there as filler to make it look a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and do that all the way around on here. Okay, I have my Spanish moss on there. Then I'm just going to give it just a little bit of haircut going around so it's not too wild. All right, that looks pretty good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up. And I'm actually thinking I'm going to use these. I think I'm going to paint them. So I'm going to get this cleaned up and I'm going to try a coat of brown paint on here and see how that looks. Okay, so I'm going to just try some of this Java color. It's probably going to be way too dark, but I'm just going to put a little coat of that on here. I don't know, the acorns up by me, by where we have our camper parked, they're more of like a light brownish, darkish brownish color. They're not this color, so I don't know. But I suppose it says harvest acorns. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to go ahead and get a light coat on, I think about 3 of these. Okay, my acorns are done and they actually look pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these, I'm going to stick a little hot glue on them. And then I'm going to stick them in the back here. And then one more for the middle. And then I have a couple of pine cones that I had from these filler things at Dollar Tree. That was from a couple of years ago. I'm assuming they still have those. And stick those in there. And then I think after that, I'm going to call it. I think it turned out pretty good. All right, it is finished. I just want to say that I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. and that you made it to the end. That would be great. If you did make it to the end, put in a pumpkin emoji and let me know you made it there. Oh, I'm just tongue-tied. It's late at night. I'm ready for bed. So again, if I didn't say it, thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe, like this video, and hit the bell so you get notified when I upload. And take care. Have a good night. Thanks. Bye. Christina's Crafts. Tonight I am doing a quick one. I believe I got this from Dollar Tree, not 100%, but I know Dollar Tree sells ones like one bases like these. And this burlap, this I got from Walmart. It was on a pretty big roll for $5, and I've used it on several projects now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cover my glass with this burlap. So I'm just gonna measure it out to see about how, hopefully I cut that straight, probably not because I never do anything straight. And this is actually gonna get attached to my glass here. So I'm just trying to measure it out. I think what I'm gonna do is maybe tuck the ends on the top, and I'm just gonna leave this little stitching like that on the bottom. So I'm gonna cut a little bit off of the top here, and then just fold it in when I attach it. I have been so completely pressed for time. I have been so busy lately. I have barely had a chance to craft. So I am doing a simple one right now. And I'm just gonna take some Mod Podge and put it on my glass here. Or on my base, whatever you wanna call it. And then I am going to try to line this up here and stick that on there. And then I am just going to go ahead and keep putting Mod Podge on it. Up and down. It's probably better if it's a little tacky. Alright, I'm going to line that up right here. And I think I'm actually going to take a little hot glue maybe. Maybe it'll stay. Alright, and then I'm just going to go ahead and keep Mod Podging the glass around. Now what I'd really like to do, but I just don't have time to do, is I would like to take the Mod Podge and go all the way around the burlap on the outside, but that's just not going to work for me. But if you want to do that, I think it would look really nice, and it would definitely create a better hold. Alright, so just wrapping it around. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to heat up my hot glue gun here so I can attach this on here better. And then I'm going to fold this in on the top here. And I'm just going to, and you know, this probably should be lined up a little bit better, but it is the back side of it, so I don't really know how much I care about that. But I'm just going to take a little hot glue so that I can attach this. This is what I am doing for now because you're not even going to see it. And then I'm just going to stick some hot glue in here, and then I'm going to push this down into here. So I'm just going around the outer edge of my base and just pushing it down. You could probably cut it and put some slits in there and it would look a little bit better, but I don't think you're really going to see it much anyways, so I wasn't too worried about it. Okay, now I noticed while I was doing this that you can totally see through this. So I don't want to be able to see through it. So I have some construction paper here that I'm gonna take, and I'm just gonna measure it out real quick. And I'm gonna stick this brown cardstock. Did I say? I don't know what I said. Did I say? I don't even know what I said anymore. I'm so tired. Okay, so I'm just gonna take some of that so that you won't be able to see through there. And I am going to cut it off. I am looking for something just to put a little slit in there quick. And I'm just gonna put a little slice in there. And then I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna cut it a little bit below that. All right, let's see how that looks. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut it a little bit shorter because I don't want it sticking out of the top. I swear I have some kind of rhyme or reason to this. I really do. Okay, so there. Now you will not be able to see inside of there. Then the next thing that I'm gonna do, I have this pool noodle. And I'm going to take the pool noodle. I am looking for a knife right now. I'm so unorganized tonight. It's actually kind of ridiculous. All right. And I am going to measure this out. And I'm going to cut it down a little farther into there. Let's see, where did I put my slit? Right there. All right. And then I'm just going to cut this up right here, and then this pool noodle is going to go inside of there so I can put my flowers in there. Because I have the flowers that I'm using for this project, I actually use on a different project, so they're kind of I guess tore apart. So I'm going to have some that are going to be sticking towards the top, and I don't know how well this is going to hold glass and the pool noodle, but I'm going to stick some hot glue on here and stick it inside of my vase. And hold that down so it gets nice and stuck in there, hopefully. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this wire ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to wrap it around my vase. I don't know why metal for fall, but I think it's going to look nice. So I'm just gonna get some hot glue on here, and of course the hot glue gun is out, and I am going to attach that right at the bottom here. Okay, and then I am going to wrap this around my vase. I'm gonna try to do it in just 2 wraps so I don't use too much of it. So it's going to kind of go like that. And then I am going to cut this with a crappy scissors. I tried wire cutters, and the scissors actually works better than wire cutters. And then I'm going to attach this onto the back side. Make sure I got it as snug as possible. Oh, hot glue gun's out. Alright, got some more glue sticks in there, and then I'm just going to hit this with a bunch of hot glue and hold that down until it dries. Okay, just because I think it looks a little plain yet, the front part of it, just for fun, I'm going to take some of this lace ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree, and I am going to wrap some of this around there. Now, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, or if it's going to look good, or if it's going to look bad, but I just think it needs a little bit more texture. So I'm just going to wrap this about where I think I want it to go. And I think I'm going to end up inside my cup here. Alright, so I'm going to cut that off. Now you'll have to let me know what you think about this, if I should have just left it the way it is, or if I shouldn't have used the metal, but I think that this just, I don't know, I think it gives it a little texture. I think it looks good. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm probably crazy. I know I'm overtired. All right, so that is it for my base. Then now it's just a matter of my flowers. Okay, now that my base is done, I'm just gonna take a bunch of random flowers basically and try to place them in here. I'm just kind of fanning those out a little bit. And you can pretty much, I mean, you can stick it anywhere you want in here. I didn't quite get my pool noodle centered, but I think it'll be okay. So these I got from Dollar Tree. And some of them are new. These I just bought. If you watched my Dollar Tree video, I just bought these. I'm going to try to stick that down in the center if I can. Because you kind of want them sticking out and branching out all over. Actually, I want that taller one in the back. So it's just a matter of arranging them how you want them. And then I have a bunch of flowers that were all cut apart. So I'm just gonna kind of stick them in here. So let's see, maybe I'll stick one back here. And then I have some of these little cattails that I was gonna kind of stick in here off to the sides. Maybe I'll stick this one back here. And then I got another one over here for the other side. And what else do I have? Well, I got these. These I got from Temu, but I don't know. I think they're, well, they're a little bit light, but they actually kind of match that. So I think I'm just going to take a couple of these and stick them down in here so they stick up. They're very, like, bendy. Thought they were a little bit better quality. I mean, they're kind of cool looking, though. I like how they look. Just kind of sticking them off to the side. And that might be just enough right there. Oh, my camera. Excuse me. I'm just going to move you up for a second. I'm doing such a horrible job on this video. I totally apologize. Oh yeah, see, these stems are just a little bit bendy. They're not quite, but I think I thought they said they were actual wheat, but I could be wrong. All right, I'm gonna grab a different one because that one's all bent. That one's bent too. Oh geez. That's kind of a smaller one. Let's see, stick that one in there. That one looks, no, now I bent it. They all keep bending right at this point here. I might have to grab some tape or something. All right, let's try to get this one in here without bending it. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. All right, and then what else do I have? I have some of these little berry things. Those will look probably pretty cool sticking up out of there. Oh yeah, that looks good in there. Just kind of putting same colors together. Maybe one more flower in the back. Let's move this around here. Just for a little more color. Thinking that looks pretty good. I don't know, I got some of these leaves here. There we go. Bend those up a little bit. I think that might be about it. Let's see. Maybe, no, you know what? I think that might be enough. I'm gonna take a little bit of this absolutely, completely messy Spanish moss and stick it in the top of the base here. I love the way the stuff looks, but it is such a pain in the butt. I'm just gonna stick some in the back, even though you won't even see the back when I have it set up. It'll also kind of hold all the flowers in place a little bit better too. Alright, I think that's all I'm going to do to this. I can't think of anything else that it needs. Bring you back a little bit. Alright, well that's it. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love it if you subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notified when I upload, and share my video to people. That would be great too. Thank you so much for watching and have a great night. Thank you. Bye. From Christina's Crafts, and tonight I am going to be making a little table topper. So first thing I want to do is get this plastic off of here, and this is going to be for like a table centerpiece. So I got one of these hanging shelves from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to be using the wood. I'm not going to be using this, so we're going to get rid of that, but we will save that though, the ring and the rope. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to take this burlap that I got from Walmart, and I am going to cut a chunk out of this, and this is going to go on top of my board here. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out a chunk. Alright, so I'm just going to take some Mod Podge, and this is going to go on here, and then I am going to start gluing down my burlap onto the board. So I'm going to go all the way down and with the Mod Podge on here and lay my burlap on top of there. Okay, and then I am going to take my Mod Podge and I am going to go onto the sides of the board here. So I'm going to fold this down, and then I'm going to set this down so that it'll dry. And then I'm going to do that to each of the sides here. Okay, now that I have that all down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I am going to put it over my burlap here. So I ensure that it's going to stick really, really good on there. Okay, so now I have my Mod Podge all on there and it's drying. I just had to put a couple corners down to get it to stay, but that I'm going to set aside right now. And then I have these 4 beads, which I'm going to use as the feet on my stand. And then I have my little pumpkin, which is going to be my base. And this, I am going to use my Waverly Antique Wax. And I am going to paint the beads and my pumpkin with the antique wax. So I'm just gonna put this on here like this, and then once I have it on, I'm just gonna take this and just kind of rub it in, because I'm kind of just gonna try to stain it a little bit. Okay, I have all these stained and ready to go. And this is still a little wet yet, but it's good enough to work with. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, where these little holes are, that's how I'm going to judge where my feet are going to go. And those I am just going to hot glue right onto the board here. So a little hot glue, and then line the little hole up. All right, so I got my feet on there, And that's gonna sit just like that. I'm gonna set that over here. And then I cut out 2 little pieces of floral foam, and then that is going to get stuck into my pumpkin here. So I'm just gonna stick a little hot glue down in there. And then I'm gonna stick my floral foam right in the bottom here. And that one's not gonna be quite thick enough, so I'm gonna actually stick a second one in there. I had this pre-cut, so it's all ready to go. And that's gonna get stuck down in there. I'm gonna kind of push it towards the back the best that I can, because as you can see, the floral foam is showing through here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stick a little bit of Spanish moss down in there. All right, so I'm just gonna try to stick some Spanish moss in here so I can cover up the green so you don't see that. A little bit more. Oh, it's got a big stick in it. Okay, so now I am going to start assembling my tabletop here. Now this is going to be 2-sided. What I'm going to do is I am going to just hot glue this onto my thing. And my pumpkins too. These pumpkins I got last year at Dollar Tree. I don't know if they have them this year, but I did have them left over from last year. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick some hot glue on here and try to center this in the middle. That looks pretty good. And then I am going to hot glue my pumpkins down on each side. Oh geez, getting a little crazy here. That. And then what I'm going to do is I have all these flowers that I got from Dollar Tree, and that is going to go into here. But I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut this down and do individual pieces. Okay, so I just cut this one down a little bit. I think it's going to be tall enough like this. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this, I think, in the middle here. And then I'm just going to kind of bend it a little bit so it kind of spreads out. All right, and then I still have these flowers and then these big flowers. I'm just going to cut these separately and see if I can stick those in there. And I got these little sprigs too. I think this is going to go in one piece. I don't know if I should. I think it might be good the way it is. Let's see if I can get in here with that. Okay, so I think that looks pretty decent right there. And then I'm going to stick a little bit of Spanish moss in here around the top, and that I'm just going to kind of tuck in and on the sides, because you don't want to see the green on the sides in there. So just kind of sticking it in there. I hope you can see that. For some reason my lighting is really dark tonight. I don't know if I screwed up a setting on my camera or what. Okay, so I think I figured out what's missing. For this plain side, I just made a little bow out of this pumpkin ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree. Like I said, I am not good at making bows, so I just did the best that I could. But I'm going to stick that bow right here by the stem, and then that's going to fill that in a little bit, so it's not quite so bare over there. I think is going to really fill this in is if I take some of the Spanish moss and stick it on the bottom here. So I am going to grab some of this. It's just going to be kind of sparse, but I think if I put some of this on here, it's really going to kind of fill it in a little bit. So actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these little balls on here first. I just got to figure out where I'm gonna put them. Let's just go for it. I'm gonna stick these on here. Try not to burn myself. This glue gun, the glue gets so super hot. My finger from before is still stinging from where I hit it. All right, and then I have 4 more. So I'm just gonna stick these on here. And then I'm gonna take my Spanish moss and I'm just gonna kind of stick it all over here. So doesn't have to go too thick because I'm not really trying to cover anything up because I have the burlap on here. So I'm just gonna take little pieces and just kind of fill it in everywhere. All right, I got all my Spanish moss on there and I kind of trimmed it a little bit and it is finished. I think it turned out pretty cute. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope that you subscribe and hit the little button to get notified when I upload, and take care. Bye. Krafts. I finally got an idea of what to do with this wreath that I've had for quite a while. Wagon wheel wreath, I guess you would call it. And I am going to take my wagon wheel here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some burlap on the bottom of it. So what I am going to do is I'm going to basically make like a little pocket. Now this burlap I got from Walmart really cheap. It was in the clearance aisle. Because normally I get most of my stuff from Dollar Tree, but every once in a while you go shopping at other places, you can find other things. So I'm going to make it probably about this big. Got my scissors. Now I did double it up because I am going to actually put my flowers inside this little pocket here. So I'm just going to cut myself my chunk off here. So I'm going to put my burlap right about here, probably about a quarter of the wheel. So I'm just going to quick grab this here and flip it around. Oh, and it fell out. Okay, so I'm just going to figure about where I wanted it. I'm going to say probably about right there. And then I am going to start gluing this. But now, yeah, it's not going to matter if this gets stuck to this or not. But I don't want it to stick to the front, so I still have the pockets. You know, I should grab a piece of cardboard or something. All right, I don't have any cardboard, but I'm just going to grab this piece of paper quick and stick this in here. And hopefully that will help. Okay, so I'm going to stick my wheel back on here. Oh, I think I got my paper in there. I got to pull that out a little bit. Okay, it's going to go about like this. Alright, and then I'm going to have to cut these ends off a bit here. Here, let's get a little more hot glue on here to get this to stay. Alright, then I'm going to cut some of this excess off here. Probably some of that too. All right, then this is gonna go just kind of tucked up around here. And then I'm gonna get this one pulled up over here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get the other side all glued down just like that. Okay, so I just cut a bunch of that extra off and was just hot gluing it right here along the edges here. So I'm just kind of pulling it and then kind of chopping it off and then just gluing it around the edges. So this is what it's looking like so far. My pockets aren't exactly very even, but I don't think that's gonna matter too much. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this side done. Okay, now that I have that on there and I got my little pocket right here, I am going to grab my flowers that I got from Dollar Tree. And I am going to see how I'm going to arrange these in here. Okay, so I think I'm going to have them sticking up a little bit off the wreath, but I don't want it too far. So I'm just going to set this on here. What I did is I'm just kind of spreading the branches out because you don't want it all bunched up in the same spot. So I'm going to figure right about here. So actually I could probably just stick that right in there. So I am just going to take some hot glue, stick it on the side of my stem here, and then this is going to go right in the middle. Alright, then I have my second bushel of these, and these are going to go in here, but I'm going to stick them down a little bit farther. I'm not going to stick them right next to. So I'm going to have to cut off a little bit of this end here. So I'm thinking right about here is pretty good. So I'm going to cut that off right here. Use my wire cutters that I got from Harbor Freight. I'm going to stick some hot glue on here. And then it's going to go right in there. And then I'm going to rearrange my little guys here. Alright, so these guys I want down just a little bit farther yet. So those are going to go probably right about there. So I'm going to cut that off. And then a little hot glue on the stem. I'm going to stick these guys right down in here too. And then I have one more little bunch of flowers right here. Okay, I think what I'm going to do with these actually is I'm going to cut these apart because I think I kind of want to fill this in here a little bit. Just looks like I have too much sticking out. So I'm just going to kind of try to arrange these to kind of fill it in spots because it looks kind of bare in certain spots. So I'm going to get these cut up here. And then I do have some of these yellow ones too, which I think I'm going to try to incorporate those yellow or orange. Not quite sure what color they are. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of go with it and just see what happens. Stick a little hot glue on there. And then just kind of try to fill in some of the spots where it looks a little bare. So that one will probably look good there. Okay, so I got my flowers all in there. Now I'm going to stick some of these pumpkins in here that I got from Dollar Tree. And I'm thinking, let's try this. I think I want this guy right here. So I think that's about where I want him. And then I'm just going to stick a little glue back here and glue them on. Alright, let's see how that's looking. That looks pretty good. This one could have went down a little bit more, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take some of my Spanish moss and I'm going to stick it in here. So I'm just going to grab a little handful and then I just kind of twist it like this and then I'm just going to kind of stick it in here. But I am going to stick a little hot glue underneath there so it stays. So lift that up, stick some hot glue in there. Okay, now that I have all that done, I have some of these leaves that I got from Dollar Tree. They were on this little thing, and I'm just gonna stick some of these in here just to kind of fill it up a little bit more. So I'm just gonna stick some hot glue on there and then just stick them right in there. Okay, then the last thing that I'm going to do is I made a bow to put on the front, and I got this ribbon from Joann's. It was actually just on sale. I just got it last week, and it was $1 for the roll, so cheaper than Dollar Tree. So always make sure you watch other stores to see when they have their stuff on sale. So I got my bow all made out, and then I am just going to hot glue it onto the front here. And then I'm just going to kind of puff up my things here. Looks like one's a little bit bigger than the other one, but I am not a very good bow maker, so. But there it is. And then I thought about hanging a rope at the top, but I think I'm just going to hang it from here like this. But it is all finished. I don't know, I think it turned out really cute. I'm glad I held on to this until I figured out what I was going to do with it. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And I hope you go get crafty, make your own stuff. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notified when I upload. And take care. Thanks. Bye. Christina from Christina's Crafts. Today I'm going to be using this old wine glass that I have to make a fall craft. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glass and I'm going to measure out a piece of cardboard that I'm going to cut out. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this circle out of here. This is going to go on the bottom of my wine glass. So that is cut out, and this is going to go like this for my wine glass. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this floral foam, and I'm going to cut a little chunk out, and that is going to go inside my glass. But I just need a little chunk. I don't need it this big. So I'm actually going to grab a knife to cut this. Alright, so I'm just going to cut about what I think I'm going to need here. And I don't want it to stick up too tall either. So let's get some of these chunks out of here. Alright, that should be good. And then I'm going to cut that probably about in half. And then that is going to go onto my little piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and hot glue this onto my cardboard. I'm actually going to be using these inside my wine glass here. So I'm just going to take some of these flowers and I'm going to kind of measure it so they stand up in here, but without getting squished. So let me see how I can arrange these. They're just going to kind of get stuck into there, but I don't want it sticking up obviously past the glass, so they're going to have to get cut down a little bit. And I'm going to be taking this orangish yellow color, and I'm also going to be using some of this color too, this reddish, burnt reddish color. So I'm going to go ahead and get my flowers set inside of my little my greenery foam here. Okay, so I'm just kind of randomly sticking stuff in there. I'm trying to incorporate some of the leaves in there too. So I'm just kind of cutting up some of these little branches or whatever you call them too and kind of sticking them in here. I'm just trying to make sure I concentrate on keeping them in the middle as much as possible so that when I cover this up, they're not going to be completely squished. Okay, now that I have my little arrangement all done, I'm going to take some of this Spanish moss that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put it on the outside of this floral foam here so you can't see it. So I'm just going to dab some on here and then put that right on the floral foam. So I can kind of somewhat disguise that from being in there. So once I get that on all the way around, then I'm just going to trim the ends of it. Okay, now I have that all on there, and then I'm just going to give it a little haircut on the bottom here. All the way around. All right, then the next step is to try to get the glass over my little, I guess glass filler. I don't know what else to call it. I'm gonna stick this in here. Try not to squish everything too much. But what I really want is I want all this tucked in here. So I'm gonna see if I can get that all tucked in. Otherwise, I guess worst case scenario, I have to just trim it off. Okay, now I'm gonna try to get this in here, and I'm gonna glue this on to the bottom of the glass. I'm just gonna hot glue for right now around the corners of my glass. Get this to stay down. Okay, that's on there pretty good for right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hemp rope that I have, and I'm going to go around the bottom with it. I was going to do the Dollar Tree nautical rope, but I just thought it was going to be too thick, and it would kind of take away the, I guess, delicateness of the piece. So I'm just going to go around the edge here once with the rope, right around the edge of the glass, and then I'm going to go up one more notch so I can cover up the cardboard. Okay, I have the one lip done, and then I'm going to put this on the edges of the cardboard now. And that should cover it up pretty nicely. Okay, that is all finished. I think that looks pretty good. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to glue these leaves down onto my base here. I just want to make sure that they're not sticking out too far because my pumpkin is going to go on top here, and I think it's going to look totally goofy if they're like super sticking off. So actually maybe I'm thinking I might just cut these leaves down. Let's try that once. And then just kind of put them around because I don't want them sticking off too far. I think it's just going to look weird if they're sticking off too far. Alright, and I am just going to start gluing these on here. Just trying to cover up the base. Okay, now that I have all the leaves on, I am going to glue my pumpkin down. That's just gonna get centered the best that I can. Alright, so now just for a little extra added effect, I'm gonna take some more of my Spanish moss here, and I'm just kind of trying to crinkle it up a little bit here, and then this is just gonna go right on the bottom in here. And then I'm gonna do that all the way around the pumpkin. Okay, so I was putting that on there and my pumpkin fell off. I had a feeling that might happen. So I actually have my E6000 glue out here, and I'm going to do some hot glue and my E6000 if I can get it open. Okay, so I'm just going to spread some of the E6000 on here. That'll give it a better hold. And then glue that. And then stick that sucker back on there. And that'll definitely, after a while, once that E6000 dries, it's gonna hold really good. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try this, some of this gel super glue that I got from Dollar Tree, if it's still good, and stick some of this on here. I'm gonna put a piece around here first, and then I'm going to attach the ribbon with some hot glue. Hopefully I don't stick my fingers together. I think I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue in here too, and the super glue will hold eventually. Alright, so I got that on there, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to make a ribbon here, and then I'm going to attach that with hot glue. Alright, I have it made, and then I am going to stick that right onto there. Okay, so after staring at it for a little bit, I just kind of decided that it just needs maybe another, like a little bit bigger ribbon, but I tried different sizes of ribbon and it just wasn't working out. So I'm thinking I just made another ribbon and made it just the loops just a little bit bigger, and I'm going to stick that on the back here, and hopefully that will fill it out a little bit. I tried thicker ribbon and it just was not looking good, so let's see if I can get that on there. Okay, I got it. I had one more leaf left here, so what I did was I cut it up because it was just a little too big, and I'm going to stick this on the back behind my ribbon to kind of fill it in a little bit. I probably should have done that from the beginning. That probably would have been best. Instead of putting two ribbons on there, but alright, well that is going to complete my project. I definitely think the leaves in the back make it look a little bit better, but all in all I think it turned out pretty cute. I don't know what I would have done different. Probably got rid of the double bows, but that is it. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell so you get notified when I upload, and take care. Thanks. Bye. Christina from Christina's Crafts, and I'm going to be making over these two pumpkins that I got at Dollar Tree. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get these bows off of here. So I'm going to do this pumpkin first, and then I'm going to do the other one. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take, I have these glass stickers that I got at Dollar Tree, excuse me, and I already used part of it on a different project, but I'm going to use these on my pumpkin. At least one. I'm going to use one on my pumpkin. So I am going to take this sticker and I'm going to stick that on there. And then I have these that I got from Dollar Tree. And I am going to take some of these. I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm kind of going to go up kind of like around the curve here of the pumpkin. So just kind of bending them a little bit, manipulating them to go up and around like this. I think that may be, no, that should be okay. All right, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, now that I have those on, I notice this isn't quite in the center of the pumpkin. I don't know, it's like I should almost take it off and move it, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to let it, because you can tell this side's definitely wider. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Agave Waverly chalk paint, and I am going to paint my whole pumpkin with this color. I'm going to paint the whole thing. Okay, this is all dry. I think it looks pretty cute. What I'm going to do next though is it just needs a little bit dulling down, so I'm going to take my elephant gray chalk paint and I'm going to dry brush over my pumpkin, kind of darken it up a little bit because the blue is just a little too bright. So I'm just going to dry brush And I want to get, the whole point of putting this sticker on was to get that pattern to come out. So I'm just kind of trying to dry brush over this lightly so I can get that pattern to pop out of there. And I'm also dry brushing a little extra on my little beads here so those stand out a bit. So all the corner, I mean, I'm pretty much doing the whole thing, but I mean, it's totally up to you what you want to highlight on your projects if you want to do this. And you know, you can paint them any color you want. You can use any type of beads on here that you want. This is, I'm just giving you ideas of things that you can do. Okay, so I think the only thing I'm going to do with this yet is I am going to put a twine bow on there. And I'm not very good at doing this, so I am leaving a little bit of a tail here. And I'm just going to wrap this around. I don't want it too thick, maybe 5 times or so. And then leave another tail hanging. And then you hold this. And then you're going to cut another piece off. Oh, jeez. And then this is going to get tied around your bow here, or around your loops. So let's see how this looks. Yeah, I'm not the best at bow making, so, but I do my best. And then just kind of pull the parts apart, and then yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to put it on there right like that. So tie that as tight as I can, and then fold the little ends down. I'm going to cut them so they're similar in size, or similar in length, I should say. Like that. Okay, I'm just going to take a little bit of hot glue and I am going to put my bow on there. Sorry about that, my dog is barking again out the window. Okay, so my bow is on there and I think I'm just going to leave it just like that. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to start working on the taller one. Now I got these stickers from Dollar Tree and I've used these on another other projects. If I remember, I will post a link to the video that I used these stickers in. They were some vintage looking bottles that turned out really, really cute. So I'm going to take these stickers and I think what I'm going to do is I think this one's going to go in the middle here. And then I think I'm going to put this one up on top here and then this one on the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and there's my dog barking out the window. Sorry about that. Okay, so this one is going to go right in the middle here. And then I'm going to take these off, and they are, I'm pretty sure they're going to have to be trimmed a little bit. But this one's going to go up in this corner. And I'm just going to cut this to match up to the side. I don't think it would look good sticking off. Maybe I'll cut just a little more. Oh, maybe it'll be okay. All right, and then this one is going to go like this on the bottom. And then I'm going to cut this one off. I love these puffy stickers from Dollar Tree. Wish they had more designs like this. All right, and then I have this lavender chalk paint, and that's what color I am going to paint this one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw some on there, and I am just gonna paint the whole thing in this lavender color. Okay, I have my 2 coats of paint on here and it is dry now. I think this looks really cute. I think it almost looks like a little house, a little pumpkin house. And then I'm gonna use the gray paint and I am going to dry brush on this one also. So I'm gonna start with the little embellishments here because I want those to stand out. And then I'm eventually going to just dry brush all the way around the pumpkin. I did paint the back, I just painted over the sticker. I'm just gonna dry brush that, but I mean, I'm keeping this, so I do sell some of my crafts, but I already decided that I was gonna keep these. So that is fine for me because you're not gonna see the back. And then I am gonna do the same on this one. I already made myself a bow. And let's see how that's, yeah, the ends weren't as long as I would like on this one. I think I might maybe try this, take this off and put a new piece on here. Okay, I like those longer tails a lot better. So then I'm just gonna stick a little bit of hot glue on this one. There, and I think I'm just gonna leave those hang long like that. I kind of like that. So they are all finished, and I'm gonna leave them just like that. I'm not gonna put anything else on them. I don't think it really needs anything else. So, well, maybe I'll cut these just a little bit shorter so they're not totally hanging here. Let's see. I got my dull scissors here. I'd cut those up a little more. Oh. All right. And that is going to be it. They are done. I think they turned out really cute. I really love the designs on them. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you I hope you subscribe. I hope you hit the little bell so you get notified when I upload. And I really hope you have a great day. Thank you. Bye. It's Christina from Christina's Crafts, and today I'm going to be using these 3 little pumpkins that I got from Dollar Tree to make one big pumpkin. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to break these down. Now if you just kind of push on this stem and wiggle it, you should be able to pull it right out. So I'm going to get rid of all those, and then I'm going to heat up the stickers because they're not coming off, and get those off of there. Okay, so I'm having a hard time getting those stickers off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sander and I'm going to go outside and I'm going to get all this glitter sanded off and try to get these sanded, because even after heating they still didn't want to come off. So I'm going to go get that done and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have them all sanded down, they're not the best. There's still adhesive on here. I couldn't get all that off, but I am just going to go with it. So those holes from where I took those stems off, those are going to go on the bottom. And I am going to use a combination of hot glue and wood glue to get this to stay together. It's going to be kind of hard to get it straight here. So I got this super glue, wood glue that I'm going to use. And I'll put some of that on there. And then in between there, I'm going to use the hot glue to get it to stay right away. So I'm going to stick these two together. I just got to make sure that they are even. And then I am going to put this one in the middle of those. Trying to center it on there good and hold that down. Now that that's all glued, I'm going to use this agave colored paint, Waverly chalk paint, and I am going to paint the whole thing with this color. Okay, now that I have the first coat on there, what I'm going to do is I am going to put a second coat on there, and I'm going to get it pretty wet here. I am going to take my white Waverly chalk paint and a separate brush, and I'm going to put some white on there, and I am going to mix some white into my agave color like this, just to give it a little bit more dimension. Okay, now that it is all ready to go, I am gonna start decorating it. And what I'm gonna do is I got some of this burlap trim from Dollar Tree, and I am going to put some of this on the bottom of my pumpkin. And then I'm gonna just try to use a little bit of hot glue to secure this on here. Okay, and I'm also going to be putting this little laser cutout leaf that I got from Dollar Tree on there. And for this, I'm actually going to use some of my glitter glue here because it has a very fine tip. And I am going to be putting some of this on here, and it dries clear, so you shouldn't be able to see it. And then this is going to go right in the middle of my pumpkin. Okay, and then I'm going to try something a little bit different. I have this burlap ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to take some of these strands off of here, and I'm going to be using these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie them together, okay, and then I'm going to be attaching them onto my pumpkin up here, so they're just going to kind of hang down over here. Okay, now I am going to attach them up here to my pumpkin. Alright, and then these are just going to kind of get moved around a little bit. On second thought, I think these are going to look a lot better if they're way shorter hanging from here, so I am going to cut these a little bit. Okay, so I decided that I'm not really a big fan of the little things here, so I made myself a little raffia, a little, I guess, bale here, you could say. And I am going to put this on here also, like that. That'll fill it in a lot better. Maybe if I had more strands of the yarn, it would look better, but I think that's going to fill it in a lot better. And then what I'm going to do is I have this stem. I got a bag of these from Dollar Tree. I know I probably could have just got them out of the woods, but I didn't. So this is going to be the stem of my pumpkin, and I am just going to fill this up with hot glue here because the stem is not exactly straight. So I don't know how well it's going to stay in there. So I'm going to have to get a lot of hot glue. And I'm just kind of putting my stem off to the side a little bit. I don't want it sticking straight up. Okay, so I think I'm going to add some more raffia and make it maybe just a little bit longer. So what I'm doing is I'm just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with the raffia. And then when I get to the end, I'm just going to wrap this around and then put a little dab of hot glue on there so it stays. Okay, then I just cut the ends because I don't really like the loops. Alright, and then I am going to stick a little bit more of the raffia on here. Alright, my last bundle here, and then I think that'll fill it in pretty good. And then the last thing that I am going to do is I made a little ribbon here. Okay, it is finished. I don't know, I think it turned out pretty cute. I like the blue. If I went with blue, I probably would have went with the green, but I think it turned out pretty cute. You'll have to let me know what you think. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I really would love it if you subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notified when I upload. And thanks so much. Take care. Bye. From Christina's Crafts, and I am working on a fall project. I am going to update this Dollar Tree sign using this decal and a couple other little things. So let's get started. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I want to get this bow off of here. So I'm going to take my heat gun, heat it up, and get this peeled off. Okay, so I have that off, and this side is actually going to stay just like it is. I am going to use the back side, and I'm going to make this reversible. No sense in trying to take this all off of there when technically you could make it two-sided and still use the other side. First thing is I want to get my decal on here. Now this is it's a little difficult. I did make one of these and test it out earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to center it on here the best that I can. So I'm just going to take my pen here. I think it looks pretty good, and I'm just going to put a little mark on here around the tile, and then I'm going to go ahead and set that aside, and then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it out. Now I am going to have to do some trimming because there's no way this is going to end up perfect, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and we'll start trimming it and get it on there. Okay, so I have that part cut out. Now I'm just going to start slowly trimming the bottom till I get it where I need it to be. So I'm just kind of matching up the front, just kind of eyeing it on the bottom. Trying to cut it straight. It doesn't have to be perfect on the bottom, just want to make sure you got the top good, because I am actually going to be putting some Spanish moss on the bottom here. So then I am going to cut this off right here, because I'm going to do something different with the stem. Alright, so I'm going to take this backing off and I'm going to go ahead and stick this on here. I just used my little Cricut weeding tool to get the back of the paper off. Now this stuff is actually pretty sticky, so I'm not going to be using any glue or anything like that. It's just going to get stuck right to my pumpkin, and it'll stick really nice. All right, and then there is a little bit on the sides and stuff here. I'm just going to take my scissors, because this doesn't lay flat. It's really hard to take an X-Acto knife to this, so I'm just going to trim it the best that I can with my scissors. Okay, so now I'm going to do my stem, and I'm actually going to use, I've never done this before, but I'm going to try to use the nautical rope from Dollar Tree to make a stem. So we will see how this goes. But what I'm going to do is I am going to wrap it the long way on here, like this. And then I am going to fold it down and do the same thing on this side, because remember, this is going to be, I'm making this two-sided so we can still use this side of it. So you can put out whatever side you want. So get this cut off. Guess I'm going to have to re-glue that. I should have probably cut it first before I put that down. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one on this side and get another one on the other side. So I think what I'm going to do is I am just going to cut a piece to stick on the side. I'm going to set it on here, and then I'm going to use my little spatula thingy to squish her down. Oh, that top of that end looks kind of goofy up there. Maybe if I put it up a little farther. Maybe I should just put like one strand or something on the side. Maybe that would have looked better. Let's take this off real quick. Let's just try to... Oh, that looks a little bit better. Besides all the hot glue on there now. Alright, I'm going to get some of this off of here. And then I think I'm just going to take a little strand on here. About that size. And we'll try this. Yeah, and I got so much hot glue on there. It's kind of a mess. This is probably what I should have done originally. It's just a little thick. Kind of cut that at an angle a little bit. Squish that on there. That looks a little bit better. There's a lot of hot glue on there. Let's just maybe take some more pieces and, yeah, maybe I'll just try to cover that hot glue up a little bit with another piece. Trying not to burn myself. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. I like that better. Okay, I'm going to take a couple strands of that on the other side and do the same thing. Okay, my stem is all done. I think that looks pretty good. So then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my raffia and I'm just going to take a strand like this here and just kind of back and forth, because this is going to get put underneath here. I think maybe I want it sticking out a little bit more. I think I'm going to have to make that a little bit bigger. You can always trim it down too, so make it bigger and then if it's not quite right, then trim it down. So I'm just going to make a little bundle here and then I'm just going to hot glue this onto here like so. Let that dry. Okay, and then I am going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut these loops here on both sides, and then I am going to size it up on my pumpkin about where I want it sticking. Seems like one side's a little bit bigger. No, they're pretty even actually. Alright, I think I'm just going to go with that right there. So then I am going to hot glue that right to my pumpkin. A little hot glue all the way across and hold that in there. Just kind of spread it out a little bit as the hot glue is drying so it kind of sticks up. I don't know, maybe I'll trim it yet, I'm not sure. Let's put the, well, this side actually does look quite a bit longer. Let's just trim that down a little bit. Okay, I think that looks better. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. All right, this one is done, and now I'm gonna hot glue this one on this side. And I am gonna definitely have to trim this one, because this one is super long on this side. All right, so I got some of this brown stitch ribbon that I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna make a bow. And I think I might make the same bow for both sides, but I'm just gonna do a small bow. Okay, so my little ribbon is made, and then I am just gonna stick it right here, and then that's gonna cover up the bottom of my stem there, so you won't even see that. I don't know, so far I think that looks pretty cute. I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put a ribbon on the other side too to cover that whole mess up there. Okay, I have the ribbon on that side. It does cover up the word fall just a little bit, but I think it'll look fine. So that side, and then I think the last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Spanish moss, and this is gonna go on the bottom here. See, I told you not to worry too much about that cut down there, because we were gonna cover it up. So I am just gonna take some of my Spanish moss, and I am gonna hot glue it right onto my pumpkin here. Or right onto the base of the stand, I should say. So I'm just gonna stick that on there. Hot glue it down. I will trim this. I'm not gonna leave it like that. It's gonna get trimmed down a little bit. But and then I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I'm trying to think, is there something else I could add? Or do I have enough on there? I probably have an overload is my guess. So once I have that all on there, then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to trim around the edges here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some on the other side too. Okay, excuse my mess here, but I think what I'm going to do is I have these leaves that I got from Dollar Tree, and I think I just need a little bit of color in here. So I am just going to cut out part of these leaves here and see if I can fit these in here somewhere. I don't know, I just feel like it needs something else, like something's just not right. So I'm just going to randomly stick some of these in here. I'm just going to cut the leaves apart, cut them down, make them smaller. I don't know, it just still looked a little too bare to me. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, maybe it was fine and I should have just left it. I mean, that is very possible. All right, I think that's gonna be it for this project. So that is the Dollar Tree side, all dressed up. And this is the side with the vinyl decal. Sorry about the shine, I'm trying to get it so it's not shining, but I think it turned out pretty cute. I don't know, you'll have to let me know what you think. I just wanna say thanks so much for watching. I hope you made it to the end and stuck around. I'd really love it if you subscribe, and take care. Thanks again. Bye. And I'm going to be decorating this plain pumpkin today that I got from Dollar Tree, and I am going to be breaking into my stash of this faux leather that I bought months ago and never used. So we are going to be using that, and then also this metal ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree. Been racking my brain trying to figure out how to use these. So I am going to use this on my pumpkin project today. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to measure out how much leather I'm going to want on my pumpkin. I am not doing the whole thing. I'm just going to be doing a strip about-ish in the middle. So I have my paper cutter here. Now I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to try to cut this faux leather with my paper cutter. So I'm just going to kind of estimate about how much I think I'm going to need here. And hopefully I cut it good. I'm guessing that might be a little big. But also I want to make sure my harvest sign is going to fit on here. And my other ribbon. So let's pull this out a little bit. Alright, I'm going to try to line this up. And we're going to see if this paper cutter is going to cut my leather. Oh, just about almost went through. Let's see. This was the only way I could think of to get a nice and straight cut. So try to use my paper cutter because I can't cut straight to save my life. But it's almost all the way through. Just a couple little threads there. All right, so let's get this out of the way. And this is going to go on my pumpkin right in the middle here, but I'm gonna have to measure this and cut the edges off. So I'm just gonna flip this over. I'm thinking I want it right about there. So I'm gonna flip it over and see if I can make some marks here so that I can cut it out. Okay. My leather is cut out. That looks pretty good. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to paint parts of my pumpkin, and I'm going to use this elephant chalk paint. And I'm just going to paint where the leather isn't go. So I'm going to put it all right here and on the bottom. All right, so I'm just going to get some paint on here. So I'm going to get this painted and then the other side, or on the bottom painted. And then I am going to do the edges around. Okay, now that I have that painted, I'm going to set that aside a little bit to dry. And I'm going to take my harvest sign here, my galvanized harvest sign, and this little dauber paintbrush that I have, and I am going to put a little bit of paint on my harvest sign. I am not going for full coverage. I'm just to dull it up a little bit because I just don't like it so shiny. I think it just sticks out too much. So, okay, now that this is dry, the first thing that I'm gonna do is I am gonna use this cord that I got from Dollar Tree, and I am gonna wrap that around the stem of my pumpkin. And I don't have my hot glue gun heated up right now, so I am gonna try to use some Mod Podge to get this stuck on here. So I'm just gonna put some Mod Podge on here, hold it down for a little bit, and then I'm gonna grab some more here and just put some on the pumpkin, and then I'm gonna start wrapping it around. So hopefully this works. Otherwise I'm gonna have to get my glue gun out. Okay, now that I have my cord on there, I'm gonna put my leather on my pumpkin, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it actually on the leather and then put it on the pumpkin. So let's try this out, see how it works. Or you know what, it's probably gonna dry before I get it too far. So maybe I'll just put it here, and then I'll go down as I put it on the pumpkin. So let's try this first. And then I want to be able to position this decent. It wasn't exactly perfect, but it was pretty good. That looks pretty level right there. All right, I'm gonna put that down. And then I am just going to kind of go along here like this, and then just keep putting my leather down. Okay, now that I have my leather down, I am going to put my harvest sign on there, and I am just going to take my Mod Podge and just go around the letters here. Stick it onto my pumpkin, and hopefully center it and put it on decent the first time. I think that looks pretty good. All right, and then the next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to measure out the metal ribbon that I have. Okay, now I am going to measure out my wire ribbon here and get that cut off. I'm going to try to just kind of wrap it around the ends a little bit, but it's gonna go right across my leather right here on the top. So I'm just gonna cut some of this off. So, got that off. Then I am going to attach this onto my pumpkin. Okay, so the hot glue is not sticking quite as good as I want it to, so I'm just gonna have to try to stretch this across as best I can and flatten it out, and then I'm just kind of bending it around the corners like this. Yeah, it was just not holding on, so now I'm just using the end of my wire cutters to push that down. And then do the same thing, just wrap around the edges. Okay, so it is pretty much done. I'm just gonna do one more thing. I think I am going to make just a bow to put at the top. Okay, so I just cut up a bunch of different ribbons, and now I'm gonna grab some more of this baker's twine that I got from Dollar Tree, and I am just going to tie these ribbons up, and that's what I am going to put on my pumpkin. So I'm just gonna do a messy ribbon. So you just kind of tie it, and then you spread all the ribbon out. Okay, my bow is all done, and that is just gonna go right there. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of hot glue, and it's gonna go right by my stem here. And that is going to be it for this project. I think it turned out really cute. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you go out and get crafty and design your own crafts. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notified when I upload. And take care. Thank you. Bye.